Unfortunately, I have no idea when that poor man burnt his wrist like that. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses in a toast. As far as I've heard, the post-mortem report showed no other possible cause of death besides the gunshots. If there's some other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace, please do show me.
Poison. You say it like that, he was poisoned. That cup has poison in it.
But of course, this country's inferior investigative techniques probably wouldn't pick up on it anyway.
It's poison. That's why she was bringing that cup back. But then what made the sound? That most captivating and beautiful testimony will go down in the Supreme Court history. Thank you. Easy does it.
I hope that this is the last time I will have to sully my lips with the coarse tones of your unbecoming tongue. Oh, forgive me. I do hope I haven't insulted anyone.
Why are you even studying here if you don't like... Not at all, not at all. It is a delight merely to hear you speak, dear lady. And it seems very clear from your testimony that this boorish talk of the victim's burn is utterly irrelevant.
I will be speaking to your country's Minister of Justice about what has happened here today.
The Minister of Justice?
May that irritating little bully of a student be given the harshest punishment possible. Amen.
Don't you amen me? Huh? Thanks? Was that a prayer then? Well, you'll have to forgive the irritation, Miss Brett, and put up with the cross-examination now. I expect you've noticed that this little bully of a student, as you put it, doesn't miss much. I'm sure I don't need to remind you, counsel, that this will be a final cross-examination in this trial. If you fail to demonstrate any problems with this witness's testimony, I will be ruling on the case immediately. Is that clear? Itai! You see his little lips jiggle? Yes, Your Excellency. Then you may proceed with the cross-examination. Or at least he's gonna get his shit together. I mean, I'm gonna assume that that's what the answer is that he didn't die from a gunshot, is that he died from getting poisoned, right? That's why she took the cup away. But the question is, the bullet did not pass through the victim's body. Single bullet fired at close range. Fatal hemorrhage from pectoral ballistic trauma. No exit wound. Bullet did not pass through the body. Right, but are they saying that there is like a hole in him or something? Like, I'm trying to figure out if we're supposed to take this into consideration if I want to say that he was poisoned. Let me just press everything. I hope that's okay. Don't get at me. But his hand was on a searing hot plate for at least 3 whole seconds. You can't not have noticed.
Do you think so? Let me ask you something.
Sorry?
Ever since I arrived at this courtroom, and even still now, the fly on those unsightly black trousers of yours has been wide open. You can't not have noticed, can you?
I would have if I could look down, but I can't look down. He has no business looking down at this time anyway. Ah!
What fun! You hadn't realized.
Dear lady's absolutely right. As your friend, you've embarrassed me as well as yourself, Runosuke. Oh, stop it. Also, wait a minute. How can you see my fly? This bench thing covers my fucking... How do you see my... It's not like I'm tall enough to see. Why didn't you tell me? Whatever.
Dr. Wilson was a true English gentleman. He chose honorable silence over a vulgar scream. Can your tiny brains imagine such a thing?
Oh yes, I think my tiny brain can! Well, I can't!
Anyway.
God dang it. When I waited for my steak, Professor and I raised our glasses to a toast. As you testified before, you were drinking carbonated water, is that right? Dr. Wilson was the only permitted to drink water at the time, if you remember. Which explains why he ordered that drink. Correct, waiter? Exactly as you say, sir. Although... whether or not the professor actually drank any of the water when I delivered the steak to the table. I'm afraid I don't remember that.
Damn you.
I have enough English to understand that at least. For the benefit of the others in court, it means bless you.
Oh my god. I think it means the exact opposite.
Anyway,
So he might not have drank the water? So you're telling me he didn't get poisoned from the class?
No, why would she take it? There's gotta be a reason why she took it.
God damn it, as far as I've heard, the postmortem shows no other possible cause besides the shot. Yes, it's written here in the paperwork. Fatal hemorrhage from ballistic trauma.
yes.
Luckily for all of us, a little burn on the wrist isn't going to kill us. And as there were no other signs of trauma on the victim's body to indicate some other cause of death, it could only have been the bullet from their gun that put an end to the innocent man's life.
Where's that gun in question? Why is that gun not in our court records? There's no talk about it missing bullets or anything? What do we have as people? Hold up. We have a British exchange student who was studying under the victim at UMA University Medical School. Hi, Kazuma. Sorry.
But it doesn't make sense. The burn must have happened straight away when the plate was first brought to the table by the waiter.
Yes, that's true. If it had cooled even slightly, it wouldn't have been able to make a burn like that.
Oh.
And if the victim burned his wrist on the hot plate as soon as it was brought out from the kitchen, then he must have already been dead at that point. Why would his hand be on the...
And yet, the fact is that victim was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Until you're able to show court evidence to disprove that, this is a complete waste of time.
I concur. Prosecutor Aochi is right.
I don't know what the answer is. If there's some other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace, please do show me.
Without leaving a trace?
If someone is shot, or strangled, or stabbed, or thrown from a height. However a person's life is taken, there are always telltale traces on the body.
Quite right, dear lady. And as our police force has thoroughly examined the body of the deceased, there can be no doubt. Isn't that right, Inspector Hotonaga?
And as I've said, I always aim for a flawless investigation. There will be physical traces with all those causes of death, that's true. But maybe there's some other way of killing someone that doesn't leave a mark.
If, heaven forbid, you doubt me, young man, you're going to have to tell everyone how exactly you think the professor did lose his life. Otherwise, I'm afraid your argument falls rather flat, doesn't it?
Oh no, perish the thought! Calling such a sweet young lady's innocence into question. On my honor, I, Taketsuchi Aochi, will cut down any of you who dare cast such aspersions.
A way of killing someone that leaves no trace. We need some evidence to back us up here. Yes, evidence. But of course, this country's inferior investigative techniques probably wouldn't pick it up on it anyway. Inferior? What do you mean by that?
In the lands of the Great British Empire, the police store everything found at a crime scene for later examination. But in this country, you investigate once, and that's the end of it. Isn't that so?
Quite right! La Carnival is over for business as usual today, just days after the incident.
Exactly. Which means that even if the investigation takes a different direction, vital evidence may be lost.
How do I talk to this man?
But he's got dots on him!
It doesn't even occur to your naive detective to try to preserve the crime scene.
How do I talk to him? How do I get to him?
I'm trying to be as tactful about this as I can, you understand?
Ah! Killer blow! That lady is as formidable as she is beautiful! What was that?
Amazing. He's actually admitting our police may be flawed. Perhaps Prosecutor Aochi is finally starting to see some sense. I very much doubt that. Still, there's something about what Miss Brett just said. There was a moment before, when something didn't seem quite right. He's right. What? How do I do with that? What do you think, Ryunosuke? I think it's going terribly. No matter how much I press her, I'm not turning up any new information. Yes, as I suspected. She's a tough witness. We need to find a way to break her testimony, or the cross-examination will be over.
But that would mean
I have to find a way. There must be some clue somewhere to help us find a clink in her armor.
I don't know.
Kazuma? What, Ryunosuke? There is one thing I noticed. Something that's been bothering me. Bothering you? You mean about Miss Brett? Actually, no. About the person standing next to her. Inspector Hosonaga. The detective. Yes, he seemed to react a little strangely to Miss Brett's last statement. I was wondering if it might be significant. If it might present an opening, maybe. Alright, I have an idea. Try pressing her on that last statement one more time. If you think so, but this time, instead of targeting the woman herself, let's see what we can get out of the detective. Alright then, I wonder what Kazuma's thinking. I'll find out soon enough, I suppose, once I press Miss Brett on her last statement again. Okay. Inferior? What do you mean by that? In the lands of the blah blah blah, in this country, you ba da ba ba. Oh, what was that? How do I get to him? He did a cough, but how do I? Yes, there it is again. The detective's reaction is just the same as before. Why? Up until now, the detective has been in the stand with Miss Brett as her interpreter. But things are very different now. For this testimony, the detective is just listening to what the English woman has to say. This could be a golden opportunity. What do you mean? When people are actually testifying, they're usually very careful not to let anything slip. However, when they're listening to someone else speak, you'll find they often let their guard down. You're right. Look at him. He's lost in his own thoughts. It's time to pursue the man in his train of thought. Sorry? Pursue? I'll explain how to do it now. Sorry. His name is hard to say, but I've been doing it pretty good up until now. I'll explain how to do it now, Ryunosuke. It's all to do with the witness marker. What marker? At the moment, we're focused on Miss Brett. On what? Oh, sorry. I thought that was Ryunosuke. At the moment, we're focused on Miss Brett, who's the person actually making the current statement. Okay, but by moving the marker left and right with the D-pad, you can turn your attention to other people on the stand. I have to use the D-pad for this? While you're looking at the other witness, you'll be able to pursue them with A. If you can catch the person at just the right time, you might uncover some new information to pursue. If you ever notice a strange atmosphere amongst the people on the stand, take a good look around. Alright then, so first I should move the marker across with D-pad and focus on the detective. Then pursue him with A, and see what's on his mind. Here we go.
Exactly, which means that even if the investigation takes a different direction, by 11 is going to be lost.
What? Oh, there it goes. I have to wait for him to finish coughing. What's the meaning of this? He said some stuff, I missed it. He said choto, but the space bubble said, excuse me. Choto means wait. Usually it's like choto mate means wait a minute or like wait or something like that. So it's just like a wait, like wait, hold up, bitch. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to shock you. What was the Gah? Oh, he just said Gah. Okay. He really was lost in his thoughts, deeply. It looked like you were thinking something just now, Inspector. Perhaps having heard what the lady next to you had to say? I don't even remember what she said anymore. If there's something you'd like to say, please, share it with the court.
What is the meaning of this? It's a delightful English woman who's testifying at the moment. If you can't find fault with the testimony, then the cross-examination should be over immediately.
Oh, is that how it works? Absolutely not.
Huh?
The detective is in the stand, which makes him a valid witness.
Yes, not to mention the fact that he's intimately involved in the case. Inspector Hosonaga.
Yes.
Do you have something to add in relation to the statement just made by Miss Bront?
Well, yes. If you don't mind, I would like to speak.
Hell yeah, speak up, bitch.
The lady is right. Our country's police practices are not as modern as those used in Great Britain.
Which is why I, Satoru Hosonaga, always strive to make every investigation I'm involved in flawless.
What do you really mean by that?
I'll tell you what I mean. I won't have evidence lacking on my watch. I'm not afraid to take everything I can from the scene of the crime. It's preserving evidence, you see.
Oh, good on you. I doubted you for a second, but you're actually a good guy.
I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief. I'm not ashamed of what I've done.
Is he gonna die? Don't die yet.
A crime scene thief?
Well, it looks like the lady's remarks touched the nerve there. Take this for example. You poisoned that bottle.
Is that?
This is the bottle of carbonated water that I took to the victim's table on the day in question. And yes, it's lost all of its fizz, having been opened 3 days ago now.
But it was carbonated water. I don't care what anyone says.
Yes, there's some left in the bottle. I can see it.
One day our police force will be among the best in the world. That time is coming. I guarantee it.
Did he drink the water? No.
But then we saw a cup that was partially empty.
Surely he didn't drink. I can't say I condone the witness's actions, but I do understand the sentiment. The court will accept a glass bottle of water as evidence.
He didn't drink from the cup, did he? Or the glass bottle? Or...
Miss Bront, can you confirm this is indeed the bottle from which you drank on the day of the victim's death?
Yes, it was that bottle.
What was that about? She seemed to avert her eyes when she answered the judge's question.
Very well. Counsel, you may resume the cross-examination. And the inspector will kindly control his fervor.
Unfortunately, I have no idea when the when the raised the glass on the toast.
So, is there something to examine with the bottle? Is there anything worth noting about the bottle? Is there... Oops, I'm spilling it everywhere. Oh, how clumsy of me. So, wait, hold up. I'm trying to... How do I orient this correctly? Okay. So, it's like... Well, can I just... The label is written in a foreign language that I don't recognize. Do you know what it says, Kazuma? I think it's French. This must be very expensive water. Oh, for fuck's sakes. Yes, but what does it say? That's what I was asking. And then go to France and ask. You could just say that you don't know fucking French. Oh, God. So this carbonated water is the last drink Dr. Wilson ever had. It looks like there's a little left in the bottle, although it's just plain water now. You know, I've been sweating so much, I'm absolutely parched, don't. I'll just have a sip of this to keep me going. No, Ryunosuke, you can't do that. For one thing, that's evidence. You can't go drinking evidence. Oh no, you're right. We don't know what might be inside, do we? You never cease to amaze me, Ryunosuke, in more ways than one. But we're best friends! I wonder, could there be anything in this water? What's the matter? You've gone quiet all of a sudden. I think I might have just worked something out. An interesting possibility. Are you gonna... Well... Oh wait, can I just present the bottle? Can I just present the bottle? Music stopped.
What is this? The bottle of water?
Actually, there's one method of killing a man without leaving a trace that comes to mind. Obviously, I'm referring to poison.
Poison?
On the day of his death, we know that Dr. Wilson drank from this bottle of carbonated water. Could it be that there was poison inside? Could it be that the professor actually died after taking a sip from this glass?
Order! 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 And on that day, who was sitting at the same table as the professor and able to slip the poison into his drink? There's only one person who could have possibly done it. Giselle Britt! It was you! This is outrageous! This is just another thing without a scrap of evidence! You little rookie imbecile! Have you even considered the delicate situation our country finds itself in now? Have you forgotten that we have only just signed an accord of friendship with the British Empire? Have you even the vaguest inkling that your rash accusation could jeopardize the entire treaty?
This is not a political arena. This is a trial to determine one individual's guilt with respect to one crime. The fact that this woman is British makes no difference. We are here to determine the truth.
If I may.
I will silence you forever for this disgraceful attack on the...
It is you who should be silent.
Oh, of course! Dear lady!
Where did that come from? She just snapped. I didn't even get to hear her say shut up.
I'm afraid I may have spoken unfairly before. I offer my most humble apologies.
I'm sorry, my lady. To what are you referring to?
I described your police force as inferior. But no matter how inferior they may be, you still investigated this particular point thoroughly, I believe. The bottle, I mean, Inspector. And whether it contains poison or not.
Of course.
You did?
Have you forgotten what my guiding principle is already? I strive for a flawless investigation every time.
I don't believe it!
Naturally, we tested the inside of the bottle and its contents.
And what do you find, Inspector?
I ordered tests for every toxin that's available in this country at the present time. We could find no trace of poison of any description in the bottle of carbonated water, Your Excellency.
Yeah, what? Are you sure?
But that's only in this country, right? The tests were meticulously carried out by the chief coroner himself.
No! No!
It's only in this country, right? Or like, where is it from?
I'm very grateful to all you Japanese. You successfully established my complete innocence in this horrid affair. Thank you.
But of course, dear lady, the pleasure was all ours!
I was so sure! This can't be right. Everything falls into place if he was poisoned. Except for the gunshot wound on him. Who shot him?
Thank you, Consul. I think that cross-examination has clarified everything. As the prosecution has asserted, a shot to the chest from this gun is the only conceivable cause of death.
That gun wasn't even put into the court record. Hello?
Furthermore, the accused, who by his own admission was holding this weapon, is the only possible culprit.
I'm done for.
The court wishes to apologize for the great inconvenience this has caused you, Miss Burt.
Oh no, I'm just glad the matter is resolved.
Before proceeding, I must ask the counsel for the defense. Do you have any further new evidence to present the court at this point?
Kazuma? I'm sorry, Ryunosuke. I have nothing more.
Well, if you'll excuse me now, I really must be leaving.
Oh, no, detective, you gotta say something! Is that it? Is that it? That's not detective at all! I forgot, completely forgot. I remember for a bit, but now, okay.
Please wait. Isn't that...
What is the meaning of this?
Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Sasato Mikotoba, Judicial Assistant to the Defense.
Oh, you're his daughter, presumably. Mikotoba. In my darkest hour, with nowhere to go, she appeared like a bolt of lightning. And in her hand, she carried a small package, wrapped in a furoshiki cloth. Now, I assume a furoshiki cloth is like something that you would pack a lunchbox in. To be continued! What do you mean to be continued? I was trying to finish this. What, why? She was probably just carrying something that would like have a trace of poison or something, right? Because they're medicine people, right? What is there to be continued? Well, we have to keep going, even though it's so late here. I can't just end it like this. I need to know how it ends. Fuck you. God dang it. This case is so fucking long. I've been playing for like 3 hours. God dang. Well, I understand you were the judicial assistant to the defense, but why is the sudden ingress into my courtroom?
Ha! A judicial assistant? And a woman, no less!
Oh, he's sexist.
The rules state that females are not permitted into this court of law other than to testify!
Alright.
Yes, I fully understand. I only asked for 5 minutes of time. I have some vital evidence that I must hand over to the defense.
Ha! You're too late, little girl! This trial's already concluded!
5 minutes. I will not allow a moment more. Oh, the judge is nicer than you, fucking poo-poo.
What? Your Excellency!
I am most grateful.
She's so polite. Oh, hi. We're just all standing here. Hello. Who exactly are you?
I'm sorry, there's no time. Please, simply accept this for now.
What is it? A report about something written in English.
It's Giselle Brett's research.
Oh, the English woman's?
After the trial resumed earlier, I hurried back to the university. I went to Dr. Wilson's laboratory in the medical faculty and borrowed this paper. I feel like she should have a different voice. Maybe? No, yes, that's right. Miss Brett was studying under the professor, wasn't she? So, does this research, whatever it is, have something to do with the case? I'm afraid I don't know. I haven't been able to listen to the proceedings of the trial myself.
Oh, no, of course not. Special characteristics of Curer and its effect on human subjects. Interesting. Curer? What's that? I've never heard that word before.
Time's up! The prosecution demands the immediate removal of this female trespasser from the courtroom. No manners!
There was too little time for me to read it in detail, but I've summarized what I could on a note just inside the cover. If you think it could be valuable, please cast your eyes over it.
This is wonderful. Thank you. Giselle's report has been entered in the court record.
Goodbye then, and good luck.
Something like Cosimo Pow! Oh, she disappeared! I love Cosimo so much. Wait, I need to see it. Where is it? A poison made from the bark of certain trees in the jungle of South America. The hunters of the region have used this since ancient times to incapacitate their prey. Effects: instant paralysis of the entire body and subsequent death, even in minute doses. Route of entry: the above mentioned effect occurs when the poison enters the body through a wound, such as inflicted by a blowpipe dart. A wound? Well, he removed his molar, right? So if you put it in the drink, then it would have entered from the wound from where the tooth was extracted. Due to its ability to render the human body paralytic, it's believed the toxin could have application as an anesthetic. However, a solution for the respiratory arrest caused as a result of full body paralysis must be found first, or the patient would die of suffocation. So he's suffocated? Due to its ability to render the human body paralytic, it's believed that the toxin could have application as an anesthetic. However, a solution for the respiratory arrest caused as a result of the full body paralysis must be found first, or a patient would die of suffocation. What? What does that mean? A solution for the respiratory arrest? Like if they had a heart attack or something? Respiratory arrest? Caused as a result of full body paralysis must be found first. Instant paralysis of the entire body and subsequent death, even in minute doses. I wonder how. Okay. You have had long enough, counsel. We cannot detain our English guests any longer. I ask the prosecution and the defense now one last time. Does either side have any further evidence to present to the court? I presume not, but...
The prosecution has made its case convincingly enough already. Nothing more to add, Your Excellency.
Urnosuke, we're out of options here. This really is our very last chance.
Yes, I know. Your Excellency, the defense does have new evidence.
That look. That unyielding stare of a true Japanese warrior.
That's right, sir. I'm about to go into battle.
Well, Miss Brett,
Yes, Your Excellency?
if you wouldn't mind, perhaps you could grace us with your presence a little longer.
It's a delightful invitation, but I'm afraid it's not so very long until tea time. I'll have to politely decline.
Forgive me, Miss Brett. It seems I wasn't clear. I realized it was phrased as a question. However, I must ask you to treat that as an order.
So fucking stay put, you little stupid bitch.
I've said it many times before, but the Japanese language makes no sense.
My apologies, dear lady. So, Counsel.
You know, if it weren't for that fucking unruly beard, this judge would also be very handsome. What is the new evidence that demands the court's attention? Hi. Actually, oh wait, no. Oops, sorry. I was like thinking if I could have examined that book, but no. It was just that we read the note from the girl. I forget her name already. What did I say? Miss Giselle Brett. Is that all she said? Is that all he said? Oh yeah, okay. We understand that you were studying under Dr. Wilson at Yume University, doing research. Research, by sheer coincidence, perhaps into a deadly poison.
What? Poison? Where are you going with this, Counsel?
A toxin known as Curar, Your Excellency. Even the slightest amount of this deadly poison entering the body leads to instant death. What? What complete and utter nonsense? Curar, you say? I've never even heard of it.
You wouldn't have done. You wouldn't have done. What? Okay.
What do you mean?
I mean that you wouldn't have heard of Curar before, for one very simple reason. It doesn't exist in our country. It doesn't exist.
Correct. Which means, no matter what test the police can do for toxins, they'd never identify Curar. But you surely could identify that there's some sort of substance in the water, right? Even if you can't figure out that it's poison, there's something suspicious, because it's just water, right? It's not like it's fucking soda. Why? Because there is no test available here that can identify the presence of this highly deadly poison. What?
Order! 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 Counsel, does this deadly poison truly exist?
According to this report, authored by the visiting research student from England, Curar has long been used by the tribespeople of South America as a poison to lace their arrows. It seems that it's reasonably well known among European doctors and scientists.
To lace their arrows?
The report states that it is produced from the extract of a tree that grows deep in the Amazonian jungle, and it was first brought back to Europe at the turn of the century by explorers. It claims that animals shot by arrows laced with Curar suffer instant death. Doesn't that about sum it up, Miss Brett?
Trumpery! These aspersions are utter trumpery! To start with, if the victim had been introduced to some level of the so-called deadly poison, he would have been squirming and writhing in pain. The other diners would have surely noticed. That's true. What do you say to that, Inspector?
So he didn't drink it? That's good. I was really worried that he drank it. And obviously I would have noticed a disturbance like that. I don't remember anything like that either. I didn't notice the professor being in any kind of pain. According to this, however, it's the other way around.
What do you mean the other way around?
The very fact that the victim didn't show any visible signs of distress is evidence that Curar was used.
Explain yourself, Counsel.
The moment this toxin enters a person's system, it causes instant paralysis. In other words, afflicted victims lose all strength and are completely unable to move. Even if they were in total agony, there would be no visible signs of pain at all. How terrible. Obviously, if a man lost all strength in his muscles, he'd collapse on the floor. But with a chair under him for support, as Dr. Wilson did, the effects could go largely unnoticed. But I don't follow, Kazuma. That's just paralysis. I thought the poison caused instant death.
full explanation is extremely unpleasant. The poison causes immediate paralysis, as I said, leaving the victim unable to move. But after a short time, the paralysis is so severe, it causes the muscles that control respiration to fail. Oh, respiration. In other words, the actual cause of death is suffocation. And all that while, the victim is conscious and aware, just unable to move.
That's hideous!
To the observer, it would look almost like the victim was slipping peacefully into an endless sleep. But for the victim himself, his final moments would be a living hell. That is the true nature of his deadly cure poison. Okay. Now you're gonna explain that apparently there was a gunshot in him? Are you suggesting that this bottle, Counsel, actually contains this terrifying poison?
This is all very convenient, isn't it? A hitherto unknown poison for which there is no means of testing? What a happy tale for the defense!
If I may.
All these facts. You think you're so clever, but you must be taught some math.
I didn't hear it again, because I'm talking as always.
It is you who must be taught.
Oh, of course. Dear lady!
So, this is how you Japanese behave, is it?
What?
You steal another honest's hard work and then announce the results as if you discovered them. I'm appalled. What a loathsome act.
Well, Miss Brett, the feeling is mutual.
Whatever do you mean?
Capitalizing on the unfortunate circumstances of an innocent man to frame him for a heinous crime. That really is a loathsome act. Wouldn't you agree?
Enough of this! I, for one, refuse to accept it. The idea of some poison that doesn't even exist in the great empire of Japan is breaking the rules.
What's so funny?
Oh, excuse me. Your Excellency?
Yes, Miss Brett.
May I borrow that bottle for a moment, please?
Well, yes, I don't see. Why not? Oh, is she gonna drink it? But she knows the way to... Where'd that glass come from? Why are you pouring it? You buffin'.
Don't get too big for your boots, you insignificant little island boys.
Well, hold up, before she drinks it. Because obviously she's gonna drink it. Well, what's the thing that it said? It said that there's a way to... A solution for the respiratory arrest caused as a result of full body must be found first, or patients would die of suffocation. So there's a way to stop the full body paralysis or whatever. I don't know what it is, but... Sorry.
To an Englishwoman such as myself, this whole affair is a farcical comedy. Your little police games and these foolish courtroom antics, it's laughable, really. But I'm getting bored of it all now. It's time for the games to end. Cheers!
Wait! What are you doing?
No sparkles left at all. How appropriate for this shabby affair.
I'll also drink some water.
Goodness, whatever is the matter? You all look quite stunned.
So, no cure. The bottle was clean. Is that what you're saying?
You look quite incredulous, little boy. But of course, that's the simple truth. Thanks for your presenting the findings of my research so concisely here at this grand venue. Most kind. Thank you, waiter. Now then, Your Excellency.
Yes, Miss Brett.
I should like to be excused now, please. I think I've given more than enough of my time for the furtherance of friendships between our countries.
Yes, dear lady.
We are most gratified with all the assistance you have given. This doesn't make sense. There has to have been poison in that bottle. So how did she swallow a whole glass and live to tell the tale? I don't understand it.
Well, I suppose if nothing else, this little Far Eastern charade will make for an interesting conversation at the next party I attend in London. There has to have been poison in that bottle, doesn't there? But there can't have been, because otherwise she would have keeled over dead.
Come on, Ryunosuke. We have all the clues now. That bottle of water
Contained poison.
The culprit did put Kira poison into Dr. Wilson's carbonated water. The defense refuses to change its position. You're serious? Fool! Are you blind? There's no possible way that bottle could contain poison. I mean, we just saw Miss Brett drinking the water from it.
That's right. Which rather complicates your argument, I think.
And I believe that complication can be explained. How? How exactly? I need to think through all the things that don't quite add up here, one by one. I'm sure the answer is in the evidence we have in the court record somewhere. It has to be. Very well. And the defense truly intends to assert this claim. Then I must ask you to support the assertion with evidence. What explains how the witness was able to consume this supposedly poisoned water unscathed? Is it enough if I just present this? The answer to this riddle is right here in Miss Brett's own research report. That's not a valid explanation. No. After all, we don't speak English. That report is utter gibberish. This impudent young scoundrel is trying to ridicule the court, Your Excellency. What kind of fucking nonsense is that? I'm not trying to ridicule anyone. Honest, I'm just reading Sasato-san's notes. I concur. This report is too extensive to be considered in its entirety by the court. You will direct us to the pertinent section, counsel. What section of the report revealed the alleged answer to the riddle?
What? I'm assuming it's the last one, but I forget what the page is under. Practical applications? Yes.
It's written right here under practical applications, I think. Oh, really? Go on. Well, think about it. You want to know how the poison can be drunk without it taking effect. That's a practical application of the poison's use as a drink, maybe? Oh, is that not it?
Was I wrong? I was wrong. Okay.
You have to do better than that. I shudder to think how we'll fare in the 20th century if we're led by the likes of you. Yes.
Yunosuke. What? Wait, let me look at it then before you tell me the answer or hint. Is it the fact that it needs to be entered into the body, like through... It has to be through a wound. Okay, I see. I get it. Okay, I understand now. Sorry. Whoops. Read properly. Thanks for the concise advice. Something that explains how the English woman could have taken the cure with no ill effect. I'd better reread our research paper and see if I can spot anything. Yeah, sorry.
You don't have any more clue than the English tone than I do. It's completely intractable.
I concur. Sorry. I got it. Mommy, we've been hearing a lot about this cure poison. And it's left me curious about something.
Oh, counsel?
Well, it sounds as though indigenous hunters have been using this poison for years and years to lace the heads of the arrows that they shoot at whatever prey they're hunting.
So we've been led to believe, yes.
And the point of hunting is to catch prey to eat.
Get to the point, please.
But if they were to use these laced arrows, doesn't that mean that there would be traces of poison left in the prey that the hunters were going to eat? Yes, good point. So surely the hunters wouldn't want to eat their prey, would they? Because then they'd be eating poison. Oh, good gracious, Counsel! No, that would be murderous! But I actually found the answer to that conundrum. In this research paper here. Under special characteristics, it says this. The poison starts to work after entering the body through a wound. Through a wound, you say? I see. That makes sense. Yes. The mention of that particular detail seemed a little strange to me, though. But it all makes sense when you interpret what's written like this. When Cure enters the body through an open wound, it has terrifying poisonous effects. However, when it enters the body via the mouth, it has no poisonous effects whatsoever. What a complicated ass fucking poison. What? Miss Brett, you authored this research. You knew Cure's special characteristics. And you knew that you could make a spectacle of drinking the water without any danger to yourself. God forbid she had like a small cut in her mouth or anything. You meddling little rapscallion. That bird is alive. Get that bird out of here. Well, Inosuke, it turns out you're an even better lawyer than I thought you'd be. Oh, thank you. Really? Me? Little old me? A lawyer?
All this poison talk is fascinating, I'm sure. But I fail to see how it possibly...
Every single fucking time. Oh my gosh, he's Spider-Man now.
So, the ill-bred little puppy has a new toy to play with. Some facts he read in a book. But I'm afraid knowledge doesn't suit you, little boy. It only makes you look silly.
That doesn't make any sense at all. What are you trying to say?
Your schoolboyish logic has a fatal flaw.
Schoolboyish? Flaw.
As even your brain has managed to deduce, Curer is safe to ingest. It seems likely that its effects are neutralized by the acidic nature of the gastric whatever.
Oh yeah, well, of course. Gastric suckers? What are they?
So, if this lethal poison is completely harmless when drunk, the professor wouldn't have died when he swallowed it, would he?
That's right!
Good gracious! It's okay, we already know the answer to this.
That's basic science. Science that even a schoolboy should be able to understand, no?
Order! Order in the court! Order! The logic holds. If the lady and the professor drank the same poison, they would be affected in the same way. Are you trying to suggest?
Yes, the Curer poison is completely irrelevant to the case on trial.
That's right. Surely even a little cockroach like you could understand something as simple as that.
Oh. Why it turned black and white? What is this? Welling up inside me. I've never felt like this before. It's sort of conviction to break down all the discrepancies. It's so intense, almost rage-like. And more than anything else, it's an animalistic desire to take down my prey. Oh my god, he's gonna jump over and fucking bite her. He did the point and the object! You've grown! You grew in the 3 hours we've been in court, my dude. I don't think so, Miss Giselle Brett. How dare you use that tone with me? Man, are we never gonna see her face? I wanna see her face. You know very well that there's no fatal flaw here. You know exactly why, even though both you and the victim swallowed the same poison. You are alive, but Dr. Wilson is dead. Counsel, I'm sure I don't need to remind you. You must provide compelling evidence. As we know now, this poison is completely harmless when ingested. Why would Dr. Wilson alone have been killed by the Curer? Where is the... Kurai! As Miss Brett so readily pointed out, she drank the same water as the professor. However, there was a fundamental and fatal difference between the two diners. A fatal difference. The toxic effects of Curer are only felt when the poison enters the body through an open wound. So, for a healthy person with no injuries, drinking is completely harmless. But what if there was a wound inside the mouth of the person drinking the poisoned water?
Inside?
Yes, like the wound you might have if you had just been to the dentist. and had a tooth extracted, for example. Oh! Miss Brett, you've acknowledged many times in your testimony already that you were well aware of Dr. Wilson's dental appointment that day. So that's it. Use that knowledge to orchestrate this. Is she laughing?
I don't like to repeat myself, but honestly, I can't resist. These childish courtroom games and your half-big arguments are also puerile, whatever, I don't know that word is.
What do you mean?
Don't worry, little schoolboy. You'll find out soon enough.